Welcome back. Today we've been talking with Dr. Enrique Murillo, who is a professor in the College of Education here at Cal State San Bernardino. He's also the executive director of the LEAD organization. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
So you were talking before about how there was a thirst for information on these topics about Latino education. What is the state of Latino education in the Inland Empire and beyond?
Okay. Well, I mean, we're saying there's a crisis right now. Mm-hmm. But we have to kind of describe what does that mean? There's a crisis. Okay, so
and how does that differ from other groups' crises?
Other groups, yeah. Well, I mean, just to give you a sense, out of 100 Latino students who start off elementary school, only half will eventually graduate from high school. Okay. Out of those half, maybe half of them are themselves eligible to go on to the higher education. Right, so about half of, so 25 or so of that 50 then go to college. Right. Only 10, unfortunately, only 10 or so end up graduating with a degree. So we're talking about really 10% of our population. And then only 2% go on to do like a master's or doctoral level. So it's really, the numbers are really amazing. They're dismal compared to the other groups.
Now, is that only in Southern California, or is that national?
No, it's national. It's across the board.
And is that specific ethnic groups within the Latino population, or is it just generally?
It's in general. Okay. The some groups are doing a little bit better. Okay. Like the Cuban Americans are doing just a little bit better. Right. The Mexican American population is one of the lowest ones. Mm-hmm. The Salvadorians are doing pretty low. I mean, we can break it off into different groups. There's some general patterns here. For example, Latinos in general attend schools with fewer staffing and resources. Okay. That's like one of the facts. Mm-hmm. And we score very low on achievement tests. Mm-hmm. We have very low college attainment rates, or college going and attainment rates.
That's what you were just saying, yeah.
Yeah, so because of that, there's a crisis because at the same time, the Latino population has boomed, right? So we are already, in terms of numbers, the largest minority in the United States. About 10 years ago, we already surpassed African Americans. Right. We're already in California, but definitely across the United States, we're the largest demographic in the public school system, so among the school kids. Yet we seem to be doing the worst in terms of the educational outcomes. So when these kids grow up, they're not in a position as the other groups to contribute to the consumer and tax base of the United States. So, we always tell folks, hey, if you want to receive your Social Security benefits when you retire, then you have to invest in all students, but particularly we have to look at the special, unique needs of Latino students, because really the overall competitive strength of the United States and our economy is going to, and it already really does, depend heavily on the positive schooling outcomes of Latino students. Okay. So it's in everyone's interest. So we say Latino educational crisis, but really it's an educational crisis in general. We focus on Latino students only because at this moment we seem to be the most vulnerable, the most at need. But we don't approach it in a very separatist, it's only Latino students. We try to address the educational system and kind of the sociology of learning overall.
What are some of the special needs or some of the concerns that you're struggling with or dealing with in these
Well, one of them is, if you want to talk about the Inland Empire, if we want to be specific, one thing that we know for sure is that the achievement gap is erased in the pre-K years. So notice there's a lot of research that shows that if you get kids into a pre-K program, they just excel. They do so much better than the other kids.
Over the life of their education?
Over the life of their education, right? But only 60% or so of Latino children have access to pre-K programs in the Inland Empire, right? So just a little bit more than half.
Is that the school districts or is that the neighborhoods?
Well, it's everything, yeah. But the school districts definitely. The school districts need to do that. We also need to outreach to the parents themselves.
Right.
So a key component of the LEAD organization is parental engagement.
Okay.
Because we gotta get to the parents, get them to understand first of all the educational system, not be afraid to nudge and put pressure on the educational system to do more on behalf of their children, to advocate on behalf of their children.
Right.
It's tied into issues of poverty, language, although only maybe a quarter of the Latino population are English language learners. So clearly 75% of Latino students speak English.
They're native speakers.
And they're native speakers. But even then, they tend to do poorly in school. And because of all the different various reasons, Inland Empire is very indicative of what's taking place nationwide. So it's about 50% push out or dropout rate, whatever you want to call it, here in the Inland Empire. So there's a lot of students who leave high school, they never graduate, and they're not as productive as they could be.
So what do they end up doing? Are these the kids who end up working at fast food places and things like that instead of going to high school or finishing high school?
Those who do finish high school, only about half, as it is, are eligible to go on to higher education.
And when you say higher education, is that community college?
Community college,
and
UCs, and the CSU system.
All right.
Yeah, the majority of us go to the community colleges, those who do go on to higher education. But for some reason, they're not getting out of the community college and they're not transferring to the UCs or the CSU system.
Yeah. Which is an issue, I think, for all
Which is an
groups.
issue
Yeah.
because it's something only like anywhere between 6 and 15% of Latino students end up going to a UC or CSU.
Wow.
So it's we're a big population, but very little representation in higher education.
Right.
Yeah.
It's time to take a break. We'll be right back.